What is going on, everybody? Holy shit, Stacy already got the dog barking. I'm telling the team sucks already. We already know, dog, the Giants suck. We already know that.
Are you trying to get us banned tonight, Spencer? Is that what you're trying to do?
Banned. Your team should have been banned last week.
Banned tonight?
Your team should have been banned last week, okay? Don't get me started with that shit. Okay?
Hey, you know what? No, fuck you. I'm here.
All right, you're here. At least you're here.
I felt like still supporting my G-men. It's, we still got 16 games, buddy. We still got 16 games. And you know what? At the end of the season, who's going to be crying? Cowgirls, like always. Always.
Hey, well, at least you'll be sitting right next to me. You'll be sitting right next to me, so don't worry about that, okay?
Hey, go ahead and get your shit talking in now, then.
Oh, you know I am. Well, guys, welcome to the show. This is the Nfc East War Room every Thursday, 7 p.m. My name is Paul Spencer. I'm the Cowboys rep. Of course, right next to me, I got the 1-0 Washington Commanders. Steve, how you doing, brother?
Good. Man, I'll tell you what. These W's don't come very often for this team, so we're going to ride that high as long as we can. Hopefully make it 2-0 this week. So,
hey, well, listen,
see how it goes.
At least you got a 1 in front of your number there, not like the one over there, which we'll get into last. But, right below me, defending NFC champions, Joe Sullivan, host of the Eagles here. Joe, how you been, brother?
Yo, man, let me tell you something, bro. I'm doing all right. I'm a little nervous. I got a tight sphincter about tonight's game. A little scared, you know what I'm saying? But I was gonna say I should buy a dog, but you know what though? Stacy let the dogs out a couple minutes ago, so we all good. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but if you speak dog language, they said we suck. We're the Giants. We suck. That's what the dog was saying. But not last but not least, bottom of the barrel this week. She gets the award for bottom of the barrel team. 0-1. 40 points they dropped this week. Couldn't score 30 touchdowns.
Do I get like a participation trophy or anything?
You know what? Only for you, Stacey, because I've known you all my life. You get a participation trophy. Okay.
Yay!
All right. That's the only trophy you're gonna get all season. Okay.
There's your trophy.
I know, Stacey. You've always said I was number one in your book. I know.
Yes,
I know.
yes.
I know.
That's exactly what I meant.
The Giants get the Giants get the trophy for most overpaid quarterback, I think.
Well, at least it's not Dak we're talking about here. At least it's somebody else.
Hey, I know for once.
right.
Once there is next week. We are on to week 2, so.
Well, at least you're right. Week 2, everybody has a win except for you guys. I mean, it's. You're wishing for week 2. We're just like, oh, another week. It's another layup, But you, God, please
another
win, please
layup.
win. Yeah.
Hey, Paul. I give Steve credit for having the 1 in front of his name, but as a guy who occasionally lays a couple shekels, I got to admit they won. But goddamn, Steve, how about covering, dude? Christ, you guys barely won. They won by like 4. Thanks.
Yeah, let's open about the card. Let's open up about the last week's game with the Commanders and the Cardinals here. Let's talk about that, Steve. How do you reply to Joe with what he said? He's like, you won the game, but damn, bro, I lost money because you guys can't cover the spread against the Cardinals.
I mean, I can't argue with that because you're 100% right. But going into this game, even though the Cardinals are basically picked by everybody to be the worst team in the NFL, kind of 2 things. This is always a trap game, regardless of who's playing the Cardinals, or anybody that you think is going to be, that easy W. But the Commanders are notoriously bad for starting out slow and sloppy in the season, whether it's, 1-4, 2-3, whatever. They always start slow. So I can't really say that this was a shocker. I was surprised, the amount of turnovers and just kind of the sloppy play after going through the whole preseason with EB there. I was definitely expecting a little bit more in the point category, but, hey, come out on top 20-16. The W's the W. Now it's just a matter of going into Mile High and trying to pluck off win number 2.
And I'm going to say this before Spencer does. At least you got points.
You know what, Stace? I think we got 40 of them. We got 40 of them. You know what I mean? I mean, I don't know. I mean, you guys got
those right up.
At least Washington can say we got 20. I mean, but Steve, you said trap game. That doesn't go well when you say trap game with the Cardinals, the worst team in football.
It doesn't, but I think a lot of it is, just that, let's be honest. Okay, the whole new ownership era, first home game of the year, sellout crowd, such a ruckus. The expectations were so high, going also with the fact of, Arizona literally just picked up their quarterback 2 weeks ago off the street. He did have some NFL experience, but not really, Arizona Cardinal experience. Semi-mobile quarterback. It just had all the spellings for what could have been, that ugly downfall to start 0-1 for us. But and you can't even say, hey, it was on the offense that showed up to pull out the victory. It was quite the opposite. It was that top 10 defense from last year that decided to show up in the second half, have a couple sacks and the one fumble in the second half, and basically preserve the victory for under 2 minutes after we kicked that last field goal.
Right.
So
going into this week here, how do you match up with the Broncos here before we ask you something and talk down your team for a second here? Let you have the floor first.
It's literally, for me, I see it being a 50-50 game, right? That, in all honesty, I could see the Commanders winning this game. I could see Denver winning this game. And, obviously I'm going to pull for Washington to win. I think they're only going to win like 24, 27, 21. Like, it's going to be pretty close, and it's going to be under 25 points. There's not going to be a lot of, points scored in this game. Some of the things that are going to be keys to this game, and I kind of saw it, I think it was yesterday or today, but, this is Sam Howell's first trip to Mile High, and he even came out and admitted that in his press conference yesterday. So he's never played at, that altitude in Denver before. So it'll be interesting to see how he adapts to that. So, but we do have a lot of experienced guys that are making that trip to Denver. So that's number one. Number two, I did see that Jerry Jeudy was a full practice today. So, before he was coming back off the injury report, like, I kind of would have swayed over towards Washington a little bit more. But if he is a full go, like he was in practice today, that's just another headache that Washington's defense has to deal with, because he's a good kid, good ball player. One of the things that is going to help us out is I saw Frank Clark's not playing this week in the game. So, not having that vital pass rusher on Denver's side is definitely going to help us out, because our O-line is suspect at best, average. So, we'll see how things go. I know one of the things, look, Las Vegas isn't the greatest team in the NFL either, but Las Vegas held the Denver Broncos to 266 total yards last week. So, I'd like to think that our defense is a little bit better than Denver's. So, yeah, it was Arizona, but we held Arizona to 206 last week. So, the biggest question is going to be, is Sean Payton and company going to go 0-2? What type of Russell Wilson are we going to see? Are we going to see the Russell Wilson from his last year in Seattle? Or are we going to see the 4-12 Russell Wilson from last season? I think that's literally going to be the deciding factor in this game for us, is which Russell Wilson is going to show up. Gotcha. I think our guys are going to do fine. We're going to do 20, 24 points, hopefully, and, kind of see where the cards fall.
Gotcha. So, Joe, what do you got about this game here? What do you got for Steve?
Yeah, well, I'll tell you one thing that really impressed me about your team, Steve, is Montez Sweat. That kid is making himself a lot of money. I watched the end of that game, and I'll tell you, man, that kid was taking that game over in the fourth quarter. I think if memory serves me right, I think he might have forced a fumble. He made a lot of big plays. It concerned me on your end. I know the Raiders went there and beat them. But I saw Russell Wilson looked a little bit more like the Russell Wilson of Seattle, at least in the first half. I think at one point he was like 17 out of 19. So if I'm a Commanders fan going in that game, I might be a little concerned, especially if Jeudy plays. Is he going to take another step forward, because he looked like he kind of knocked some of the rust off, at least in the first half of that game.
Yeah, even though he didn't have very many yards, Wilson went 27 to 34 last week. Granted, he only had like 160, 180 yards passing, but for only missing 7 passes when you're throwing over almost 3 dozen times, that's not too shabby.
Yep. What do you got, Stace? What do you think about that Broncos coming up here with the Commanders?
Like you said, it depends on what type of Russell Wilson shows up. He's like Kirk Cousins. We can't say it on the air, but you know what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, I mean, I
you just
agree with
never
you.
know, and
I
that's
agree with you.
and that's what it's gonna come down to, because
Yeah.
we've seen him do it in Seattle. Like, he can play, but then he's week to week,
Mm-hmm.
so you just
Yeah,
never know what to expect.
Yeah, I agree with you. Last just like Joe said with Peyton here, they're using Russell Wilson to get out of the pocket, which when he was at Seattle, that's what he did.
Mm-hmm.
He can extend plays, and he's that type of quarterback on the move. He can throw a dart, and I think that's what Peyton's doing with him. Last week, it wasn't a big game with 200 yards somewhat, but I think they're on the right track right here. I think it's going to be a huge game for the Broncos. What do you guys see? I think the Broncos win this game. I had on the show we just did earlier. I said I thought it would be like a 24-17 game, I believe. I think the Washington Commanders go 500 this week, 1-1. What do you guys think?
Yeah, you know what? I'll tell you, this game is like a toss-up 50-50 to me. I think I'll go Denver just because even though I don't think Denver's that great of a team, I don't see Sean Payton losing his first 2 games at home.
Right.
So I think Denver squeaks out a close one. Like exactly kind of like you said, like a 20-17 type thing.
Mm-hmm. What do you guys say?
Yeah.
What kind of score do you think?
I think it's going to be. I definitely think it's going to be close, but I think the Commanders will pull it out, even though I don't want them to.
Okay.
But
Steve, what do you think your team's going to do this week? In a couple words here.
I think we're going to pull it out, but I do agree with everybody else. It's going to be a close game, and it's going to be relatively low scoring. So I think it's going to be like 24-20.
Okay.
Washington, and
Mhm.
I mean, I'd love to see more points on the board, but we're just not there yet.
Mm-hmm. All right, well, how about we move down to, the corner down below me here, tonight's game, the Thursday night football game here. Primetime Kirk Cousins come here to the link, and he's playing the Philadelphia Eagles, who, Joe, in your words, pretty much escaped last week. How are we looking tonight?
Yeah, nervous wreck, dude. Honestly, I mean, I got to keep it real. Coming into the season, I got to be honest with you. I was looking at this game, thinking, for a home opener, coming off the Super Bowl. I was feeling, honestly, bro. I was feeling like maybe like a 31-17 type tip. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not really basing it necessarily off of last week because we spoke previous to the show, and I feel like the first few weeks are kind of glorified preseason, and I'm kind of like a win is a win. Like the Eagles were sloppy. I'm not taking too much out of that first game, but I don't know. I just looking at it from an objective football fan and looking at the matchups, and I'm very concerned with how the Eagles. I know Darius Slay can cover Jefferson, possibly, maybe like last year. Who the hell's going to cover their other receiver, and who's going to cover Hawkinson? I mean, the middle of that field was wide open last week against New England. I mean, the tight ends I think had like 12 catches for about 96 yards. We had no answer for the tight end, so I think Hawkinson's going to have a big game. I'm very concerned if they line Jefferson in the slot because I don't know who's going to cover him. My number one what do you call it? My number one strength is the fact that their centers out, their offensive line is a little weak. I mean, Kirk Cousins got his ass kicked last week. And I'm kind of feeling that our D line can really get after him. So if we're going to win this football game, it's going to be up front. Honestly, it's going to be the offensive line, it's going to be the defensive line, and we're going to have to win the game at the line of scrimmage. Because if we don't, I could see Kirk putting up some points, and I'm going to be sweating, pulling my hair out in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, I can agree with you. Exactly what you said. We know Jefferson. If he lines in a slot, that's a mismatch for whoever you have playing nickel. And the other guy, Addison, who's going to cover Addison tonight? That's what scares me too.
Exactly.
Yep. What do you think, Steve? What do you think about this game?
I think it has the potential to be a lot closer than what people think it's going to be. On paper at the beginning of the season, the Eagles were just super stacked, from top to bottom. But as Joe kind of alluded to it, the secondary is already banged up. And when you have a receiving trio, let's throw Hawkinson in there. But when you have a receiving trio and arguably the best receiver in the NFL with Justin Jefferson, and then throw him in there behind first-round pick Addison, that could spell problems. But then in order to get the time to throw the ball to those guys, I got to look at the fact, and Joe hit the nail on the head, that, Kirk Cousins is playing with a backup center tonight. But when you got the first round Carter, the first round pick, and the other Jordan Davis, as your two guys that you're staring down 3 feet away from you, like that's got to be pretty daunting, knowing that the backup center is the only thing between you and those two individuals. So I mean, as much as I hate to say it, I think Philly's going to squeak it out tonight, and get the W. But I just don't see Minnesota, and then even going on the other side is, Minnesota's got to do everything that each of our teams are going to have to do, and that's figure out how to match up with Philadelphia and their arsenal of weapons. If they focus on one dude or another, there's another 3 or 4 to kill you. So, I just think Philly's going to come out on top tonight.
I agree. Stacey, what do you think?
I think Kirk Cousins' ulterior, his brother's going to show up, and he's just going to beat up on them Eagles. That's what I'm hoping for anyway.
Well, that's just like you hoped last week that you score a point, and that didn't happen very well either.
Well, hey, listen, I got Eagles pregame show on just to put it in perspective, like just to bring up Steve's point too. Like Jalen Carter had 6 he's well on his way to be defensive rookie of the year. He had 6 pressures and 1 sack last week. And then Jordan Davis had 6 tackles, a forced fumble, and he had a half a sack too. So that center, he better put his big boy pants on, because he's in for a rude awakening, that boy.
And I agree with that. Just like Ken said, I think Kirk Cousins is in for a long night. If that defensive front 7 get pressure and get in Kirk Cousins' face, we all know he can be rattled. No matter what best receivers he has, on his team, he can get rattled, and he can show glimpses of being, non-prime time Kirk Cousins here. So, I think it's going to be a close game. I'm going to go Eagles. Man, I think it's going to be a little bit closer. I'm going to go 30, maybe a 30-26 victory for the Eagles. I think it's going to be close. The line, Joe, as we talked about, it was a -6 line. I was scared to even take that. I took it down to -3 for my bet tonight.
Yeah, I'm feeling you, Paul. I mean, honestly, I'm feeling an Eagles win. I'm not necessarily sure of a cover. I mean, I know I was just talking to you pre-show, and I took them in a parlay just for the hell of it. But but honestly though, I feel like I kind of agree with you. I mean, I feel it wouldn't shock me if you saw a 30-27 or a 27-23 type score. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Well, we talked about 2 of the real 4 teams here. Let's talk about
really.
The one that's in the
Did
bottom
you get
of the
this? Do we got to put that shit up there? Does it really?
Well, listen, I told you get a participation trophy, Stacey. You're the bottom of the barrel.
Okay,
At least you won something in week 1.
Where's my trophy? I haven't even got a trophy.
It's on the way. It's on the way.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep. It's on the way. Have I ever lied to you and let you down before? No. Okay. Come on. We've known each other for how long? I've never let you down. The trophy's on its way.
Too long.
I know. Spencer. Yeah, don't say how long though. Don't say how long. We don't want to give our age away here, Stace. Ken says Phillies 27-13. I'm older.
Nice. Let's go, Ken. I hope you're right, Brave. I hope you're right, buddy. Let's go.
All right. You know what? You want to talk about the Cowboys then first, Stacey? You want to talk about our game? Then you can go.
No. That's
sure?
fine. That's fine. I mean, yeah. No.
You always say save the best for last. I mean, is that what you want? Is that what you want? I mean, you want to make yourself feel good? I mean, what is it?
No, apparently that's what you wanted, because.
Well, no, not really.
Set this all up.
Hey, I mean, I go by who scored the most points. I mean, hey, that's what I am.
Let's just do it and get it over with. All right.
No, let's have fun here.
We need to change everything that we did last week, and we need to do the opposite this week. Okay. I mean, I don't know that's it. Offense, defense. I mean, Daniel Jones started making stupid throws, but again, he's trying to make something happen. Nothing went in our favor. Absolutely nothing.
Well, you know what? I'll tell you what. On the NFL Pick'em show, I even on my 215 Boys show, I was probably the only one out of the Cowboy Nation that said, I'm taking the Giants. I took the Giants, going into just like Joe says, week 1 is preseason extension to me. Dak didn't play. Nobody played. Pollard coming off an injury scared the hell out of me. So I took the Giants in a close game. But I tell you what, it scared me the first drive, Stacey. I'm not going to lie with you guys. When our defensive end, came up the field, put pressure on Daniel Jones, but climbed the pocket to where Jones had an RPO to run the ball. They didn't play disciplined football. They didn't play containment. Jones got all the way downfield in the red zone. Then the shit hit the fan. Then the block punt. The block punt happened. But then after that, it was just
from that point on, it was
done. It was a clear dismantling of the team.
I literally I tried to watch it to the end. I was just like, there's no point.
Can I ask you guys a question? Had that blocked field goal not, first off, everybody points to the blocked field goal. In my opinion, the biggest play was the botched snap from center, because that ruined the drive. All right, so let me ask you a question. Those two plays don't happen. The Giants score a touchdown that drive. How different is that football game?
Go ahead, Stace.
Huge. I think that's a huge difference, because from that Gano, we know Gano's usually, he's usually money,
right?
And for him to shank how many two field goals, and they were within range. It wasn't like it was anything ridiculous. I mean, I think that just set the tone, and they were all just you could see it in their faces. Just like I said, nothing went our way.
I agree with you 100%.
He hit Saquon in the numbers.
Yeah.
He catches it. It pops right up. Who's right there? Fucking, I don't know, some cowgirl with her skirt up, and she gets the ball and takes off down the field.
And she looked pretty damn cute going running down the field too. I'll tell you
whatever.
that.
I mean, if that's what you like, that's what you like.
Hey, I don't care. Dress them how you want as long as they score. I don't give a damn. Okay, but I agree.
Great. I love listening to Stacy to talk about the Cowboys. It reminds me of a fellow Eagles fan of mine, talking about cowgirls and shit. It's great. I love it. It's awesome.
I know. But I
they
agree
will
with
forever be the cowgirls.
I know. She's always said that. God, man.
Shit. I have to go back to. Sorry, I should have picked something up today, and it was on clearance. I should have picked it up. Already on clearance.
Yeah, already on clearance. I wonder where this is going.
No, seriously, they have the flag, the car flags. They have them at Academy Sports right now.
Don't ever buy me one. Don't send me one, because I can't use it, because I have the deflectors on my windows and I can't use them. Okay.
All right.
Yeah. But
they're on clearance.
Yeah, I bet they are.
They really are. No, they seriously are. They're 85% off. I'm like, God damn, the season just started.
Jesus Christ!
Already clearance out cowgirl shit.
That's crazy.
It's almost like they're already ready for y'all to lose, especially this week versus the Jets.
Yeah.
Zach Wilson coming to Texas. Zach Wilson's coming down to Jerry's World to come beat that ass.
But Joe, go back to what you said, that those 14-point swing there. That was huge, because as a Cowboy fan, I got into a couple arguments this week where I said everybody's like, "Oh, Dallas is this, Dallas is that." Number one, Dallas didn't get tested in the secondary. You can say what you want. Jones only threw one ball over 15 yards. It was a connection for 20. They weren't tested.
Yeah.
When you have safeties that can come down into the box and play the box, you're not getting tested, number one. And that defensive line, yes, they played, but come on, man. It's the Giants. They own Neal. They own Thomas. And Jingleheimer Schwartz played well.
Yep.
But come on, man. Seriously. It wasn't even a test to show you what Dallas is yet. That's why I was like, week 2, let's get into week 2 here. But we'll see with the Jets here. But now, Stacey, are you done talking about the bottom of the barrel here of the Giants already? Or no?
I guess.
You sure?
Are we going to give our picks for...
Yeah, what do you think about the Arizona game, though?
Yeah, let's talk about the Arizona game, because at least I hope you guys score a point, maybe.
Yeah, I'm hoping so, and I'm hoping to score more than Carolina or the Cardinals do. The Commanders beat them. Sorry, Steve, but the Commanders beat them, so I'm assuming that the Giants should pretty much just.
Yeah, but don't the Commanders have a better defense than the Giants do? And I mean, they gave up 16 points. I mean, let's look at it that way too.
Yeah.
You guys might be on clear. You guys might be on clearance next week.
Comparable.
Is this game in New Jersey or Arizona?
Arizona. So, of course, I'm going to pick the Giants.
Of course you are.
You want to score 24-16.
24-16.
No,
okay.
Listen, I hate the Giants, but win and cover this week, because I took you guys -4.5. So please don't fuck me.
All right, I'll put in a call. I got
I'm
you,
bet-
Joe.
I'm
I'm gonna put in a call.
Listen, I got a theory, okay? I'm betting. I am literally betting against Arizona every single week. So that's my theory. I think
Thank
I'm
you,
going to have a winning
Eileen.
strategy.
See, it must be a New York thing. It must be a New York thing here. Team Stacy all the way. It must be a New York
Yeah.
thing, Stace. Has to be.
We got to stick together, us New Yorkers.
Eileen says it's a feisty group. No, that's because Stacy's pissed off that she didn't even score a point last week. That's why it's feisty. Nobody else is feisty. We're trying to keep it PG
Feisty
here.
every week.
Yeah, she
talking
is.
about.
She is. Ken Fry says Giants rebound 24-20. I can see that score there. I think
you,
I'm around
Ken.
that score as well. Yep.
That does
Adam,
me no good.
Yep. Adam, it doesn't do Joe any good. They don't cover the damn spread,
Yeah,
But
fuck
if the
that.
Giants
I don't give a shit. I don't care about the spread.
Adam says if the Giants don't win, they will start the season 0-3. Well, then Stacey gets another trophy next week, most likely. Let's keep it rolling.
I have my I love me wall. I'll keep putting them up there.
Yeah, I bet you do, huh? All right, well let's talk about this could have been the game of the week here. Unfortunately, it's not going to be the game of the week here. The Cowboys are a home opener against the Jets here. Something bad happened to the the Jets. Mr. Rogers went down. How does that change the persona of this game?
Huge. I think it's huge.
I agree.
I mean, and for the way he went down, so like first drive of the game. What was it? The second play?
It was horrible.
Third play. Yep, third play.
Play.
It was
yeah,
horrible.
It was like, oh my god. I saw that happen. I was like, oh shit. But yeah, I mean, Zach Wilson came out and I mean, they won obviously, and the Bills aren't, they're no slouch. The Bills are a good team, and I really expected the Bills to win after Rodgers went down. I was like, oh shit, that's it, game over. But so I was actually surprised that it went to overtime.
Yeah, when Rodgers gets hurt and exits the game, with what ends up being a season-ending injury, there is no reason on earth that Josh Allen didn't look around that locker room at halftime and be like, this game is mine. We're gonna win. And then the dude goes out and throws interceptions and fumbles and gets sacks and mistakes galore and the whole 9 yards. But it's crazy. I think the biggest thing, and you asked a good question, Paul, like what's this very well could have been the game of the week. But, aside from Rodgers going, is it really that much different? It's not, right? Because the Jets are still loaded on offense. Yeah, they're playing with Zach Wilson 2.0, and we don't know what we're going to get out of that. But, one of the biggest things that I'm kind of curious to watch is what this Jets defense that's supposed to be really good does against your Cowboys offense. Right. I'll give you guys credit where it's due, and you guys got a really good offense, between your wide receivers and Pollard.
Well, we did not cut you up, but we did lose a wide receiver this week already.
Well, yeah, I did see that.
Brandon Cooks is out. Brandon Cooks is out.
So
what is it? Hamstring?
ACL sprain or something.
Yeah, something like that. But it'll be interesting to see how that stout line that you guys have, led by Casey Martin,
Zach Martin.
comes back and takes on this Jets front seven, and what they can do. And like I said, I think the other big thing is going to be as we in the national media say all over the place, it's going to depend on what Zach Wilson can do. And I think all he needs to do is literally kind of be like we alluded to last week, and even on my show a couple times, is kind of be that like Alex Smith, aka game manager. You got Dalvin Cook, you got Wilson Garrett, you got Lazar and Randall Cobb. Just make some passes, run the ball to the Cook and Brees, and score a couple points. Don't turn the ball over. And that could be your recipe for what could be, on paper, an upset.
I agree. What do you got, Joe? I agree with everything Steve said there as well.
Yeah. So first off, I mean, how terrible was Monday night? I mean, I got to admit, right? So I watched that game from the very beginning. I mean, you look. First off, the national anthem was like beautiful. The woman that sung it had some serious pipes on her, right?
Wasn't it Queen Latifah?
No,
Oh,
It was one of the
sorry,
color guards.
that was the Giants game. Sorry,
It was one of the like the police officer, the female police officer. I think.
Oh,
It was.
yeah,
okay.
and she had a beautiful voice, right? So 1st off, the crowd is so pumped up.
Yes.
You got Aaron Rodgers running out with the American flag.
Yeah.
It's 9/11, right? You see the crowd. You see all these Jets. I mean, I felt so sorry for all these Jets fans. You see these Jets fans in like FDNY hats and like they've been waiting for a quarterback for years. And you see them in the stands and they're like, yes, we finally have a chance. We finally have a chance. 4 friggin' plays into the goddamn season, he's hurt. I mean, I couldn't believe it. It was like it was, and I'm going on the internet and you see the meme where like the Water Boy meme where they're like, oh no, we suck again. You know what I mean? And it's like, and you know, my heart goes out to them, you know. But looking at this game, you know, I got to admit, Paul, I'm not sure how you feel as a Cowboys fan, but as crazy as it sounds, and I realize that you would have a harder chance on paper if Aaron Rodgers was playing, but I really see a path that the Jets actually can win this football game. And I'll tell you why. Because number one, you got, like you said, Cowboys were not tested last week, right? I mean, they, you know, you blinked and the game was 14-0 because you guys blocked the field goal. Then you got the pick six. All of a sudden, it's 14-0. Well, you got. Yes, I know Zach Wilson is Zach Wilson, right? But you got a Jets team that's got tons of talent. I mean, first off, I don't know if I was looking at Breece Hall or Eric Dickerson last week. I mean, the dude's got a lot of game, okay? Jets got a lot of talent. Their defense is elite. And I'll tell you, if they can keep the football game close, you know, not to shit on Dak, but Dak has been known to throw a lot of picks. That Jets pass rush and secondary is elite. And if that football game's close, I can see a path where the Jets can pull off an upset. It's not on paper the game of the week, but it still could be a great football game.
True. Stacey, what do you think before I reply to that?
Okay, I'm just going to say it. I'm just going to give my predictions right now. It's going to be the Jets 40-0. That's my prediction.
You know, we always use that word. We always use that word hater. I think a lot of people are going to call you that tonight, Stacey. I mean, a hater, really. 40-0. I wonder why.
I
right?
will wear that hat proudly.
I bet you will. Just like in high school, you used to wear that hat. You used to sit in the corner with said dunce. I remember that one. You know.
No, that was you, sir.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, right. You spelled wrong because I didn't know how to.
I got to finish school while we were over there.
Well, it's not my fault.
To go back home. Yeah.
I had to go back home. My country, USA needed me. USA needed me to come back home, Stacey. Okay, that's what it was. Okay, you know they kept you and got rid of me.
National security purposes.
Yeah, right. TSA is still looking for me, but anyway, that's a different story, another show. But anyway, Joe, replying to you, I think you're right, 100%. Dallas wasn't tested last week, so I'm still on the fence with this secondary. You know, I really am. You know, Donovan Wilson was out. Marquise Bell came down, which looked great. But once again, they didn't test Dallas on the defensive side of the ball. The front seven played great. But to me, if the Jets can get pressure and make Dak beat them through the air, I think it could be the Jets game as well. Because of the fact we know what Dak does. He throws the ball away and makes stupid bonehead mistakes. And the thing is, to me, you're not going to be able to run the ball in this front seven with the Jets defense. We're not going to be able to run the ball. They're not going to be able to run the ball. It's going to be what quarterback can make the right decisions at the right time. Take what the defense gives you. I'm not looking for a game being 40-0. It ain't going to happen again. I'm probably looking at maybe a 13-20 game this week. I think it's going to be a defensive battle this week. It's a toss-up. I'm staying away from this game. I think the line went up to 7 now. I'm staying away from this game, Joe. It scares me 100%. This game really scares me a lot.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, like I said, I don't blame you. I mean, because like you know, it's one of those things where like you know you see there's so many Jets fans out there, and you know obviously they're upset. Oh man, the thing that if I'm a Jets fan, of course I'm upset that Aaron Rodgers left. But the one thing that really gives me at least hope for a successful season is the heart that team showed. I mean, they could have easily packed it in, and they stuck with that game, and then they found a way to pull the game out.
Mm-hmm. I agree. Yeah. Stacey, we got a out of the box is replying to you. I think this one is. Stacey's dog is on camera wanting to say "Go Cowboys, go." Is that true? I mean, that's what people are saying out there. Stacey, is that true? I mean, listen, dog. If you want to say it, I think I just read the dog's lips. She said, "Mommy, we suck." What are you talking about? Oh, Lord have mercy.
Well, my husband says he's a Raiders fan, so
As a Raiders fan, well, dress them up in black and then you're ready to go. Silver and black there. But what do you guys think about the score of this game here? I'm going to go 13-20. I think the Cowboys do squeak it out to go 2-0, but I think it's going to be a more close game, and I think Zach Wilson has the potential to beat us if he can just stay like a Trent Dilfer, like we talked about on Steve's show before. Manage that game, Alex Smith type. If he manages the game, I think he might put the Jets in a situation. If they can keep this offense off the field, the Dallas Cowboy offense off the field, I think they have a time to beat them. I really do. Scares me. What do you guys got?
So
I'm gonna say probably like.
I'll tell you. So listen.
Go ahead, Joe.
No, go ahead. Go ahead, Steve.
I was just gonna say, as much as I hate to say it, I think the Cowboys are gonna squeak it out, and I don't see many touchdowns for the Jets. So I think it's gonna be mainly field goals. So it's probably gonna be like a 24-16 type deal for the Cowboys. And the biggest question is we're gonna see is, what is Zach Wilson 2.0 going to look like? He had a whole training camp in 1 week of the regular season to kind of learn and adapt, from Aaron Rodgers. And, there are some notations that, they already saw a change in him from last year, in the 4-7 wins that they had, which half of them he wasn't even on the field for, compared to what he was doing Monday night against Buffalo. So, there is some optimism, that he is progressively getting better, and we'll see what he does against that Cowboys D, and conversely, we'll see how Dak does against that Jets defense.
Gotcha. So, Joe, what do you got real quick before I know we get out of here in about 2 minutes here? What do you got for the score?
All right, I got to be honest with you, and Paul, you know me. I don't just pick games just because I'm an Eagles fan and you're a Cowboys. I look at it objectively. I got to be honest, dude. I'm feeling a classic letdown spot for your Cowboys here. I feel like the Jets. I feel like this
Joe.
I feel like this is a perfect opportunity because here's the thing: Aaron Rodgers has been your guy's daddy for the last 6-7 years, and now the big daddy went away, right? Now you got to go against Zach Wilson. So everybody in the country is like, "Oh, Dallas is going to beat the shit out of the Jets." I feel like and you guys are coming off a 40-0 win. Everybody's blowing you pretty much, right? And I feel like, I feel like it's a classic Jets 23-16 Jets, and then next week you guys beat the balls off Arizona. That's what I'm feeling, honestly.
Yeah, I can feel a letdown. I mean, the funny thing is the stat that we talked about last night on the show. Dallas is better on the road than at home. This could be one of those games where you're looking into week 4. You're not looking at the Cardinals. You're looking ahead of that game, number one. But before we get out of here, I just want to go over a couple sponsors here that we have real quick. Excuse me, Dugout Mugs, the ultimate game day mug. If you want a baseball mug, any custom mug out there, please reach out to dugoutmugs.com. Use promo code OTBS Sports 20 for any custom design mug, baseball, MLB, whatever you have. You can even get a monogrammed mug for a friend of yours. I want to get one for Christmas saying the Giants suck. Love you, Stacy. Very simple. Make sure you use promo code OTBS Sports. Yeah, at least I see anything I think about you. I thought about you. I'm ordering you one, okay?
Yeah.
And you know what? The funny thing is, I wish Jason Fine took care of New York because, God, all 53-man roster for the Giants would have been calling his ass in a second. But unfortunately, he doesn't cover New York area. He only covers Philadelphia, PA.
What were we going to call that? A slip and fall? Sorry.
Oh, that was just called a murder, a convicted 1A felony murder situation 53 times. But if you're out there, motor vehicle accident, slip and fall, workman's comp, any personal injury claim, please call 1-800-123 Jason Fine there. Last but not least, Monkey Cold Coffee. I know, Stacy, if you didn't have a bag, you should have got one for last week. That Monday morning would have been crazy for your ass. To get up in the morning, have some Monkey Cold Coffee, bourbon chocolate chip, toasted coconut rum, Samaritan blend. Use promo code OTBS Sports at monkeycoldcoffee.com. Best damn coffee out there. And our schedule, here's our schedule. We have something for everybody. We'll go through it. New shows coming again. Please check it out. That's why we ask you to make sure you like, share, subscribe, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter. Every one of our shows has their own handles, which we'll be doing a short little video promo on coming up with everybody's hashtag, so you can reach out to your favorite host, reach out to the favorite shows, like them, share it, subscribe. That's what we ask you to do. We're all family here. But, guys, before we get out of here, any parting words?
Yeah, didn't Stacy have to spike that Monkey's Cold Coffee last week? I mean, 40-0. Shit, I'd have to get banged up to watch that game.
Man, I'll tell you what.
Man, what do you think?
I can see Stacy like shaking during the game, having like a goddamn bourbon and whatever she had in that jaw.
Oh, I asked I was screaming at the TV. He's like, he told the guy at work, he's like, man, your wife had to have been pissed last night. He's like, I thought I was in trouble. She was yelling so loud. Yeah, I had to bring my blood pressure down, so I had to.
You had the IV drip in each arm. Yeah, you had the IV drip in each arm, didn't you? That's how bad it was for you. Steve, any parting words?
I was snorting that shit too.
Hopefully all of our respective teams win this weekend. And for those diehard football fans, just remember there's 2 Monday night games. Unfortunately, they're an hour apart from each other for whatever reason.
How do they do that?
I think one's on ESPN and the second one's on ESPN Plus. For those of you that have that subscribing power.
Exactly.
But yeah, one starts at 7, one starts at 8:30, something like that. I don't know why they just didn't do a early and a late game, but whatever.
Yeah.
But hopefully we all come back with the big victory next week and add another 1 in the win column.
Well, at least one. Some of us will get a 1, maybe, or some won't. But whatever. Joe, what are your parting words?
Oh, you're getting a 1 in a column.
Oh, I know. I've been number 1 for a while, Stacey.
Well, listen, if the Giants win, just please cover. Don't pull the Commanders. I mean, thanks for nothing, assholes. You guys won and you didn't cover. I mean, if you're not going to cover, at least lose the goddamn game and at least help me in the division. You know what I mean? So win and cover. It does. A win don't matter unless you cover. That's the way we roll.
That's it. Well, last thing I want to say, Joe, just like you said to the Jets fans out there, listen, I've struggled for almost 27 years now. I understand your pain, but Joe, just like you said, with the diehard fans out there, the national anthem was so beautiful.
It was.
They had the NY hats all around. The one person that almost made a tear come to my eye was Fireman Ed. When he was out there getting the crowd going, JETS. I remember looking at days back and then when he had the black, the trash bag, the brown paper bag over his head, says "We suck."
Yeah, we suck.
Seeing him go, like they panned him after the Jets injury. And he was so deflated. He was so deflated. That's who I feel bad for. The real fans of the game. You know what I mean? But
yeah,
guys, it's been a great show. Let's get out there and let's go watch some Thursday night football here. Those Eagles are playing the prime time. Kirk Cousins, Minnesota Vikings tonight. So
let's go Vikings. Oh, sorry, Joe.
Hey, I don't give a damn. Fuck the Eagles. Fuck the Eagles. Let's go Vikings.
It's all good. Let's keep it real, man. This is the whole point of this. I mean, let's be honest, man. Well, every one of us wants to win this division, so let's keep it real. Hey, I don't blame you. Unless I got money on you, I'm rooting against y'all. No offense, it's not personal, but let's be honest. Well,
let's all agree. Let's all agree next week that maybe the Giants can actually score a point and win a game next week. That's what we're happy for. Maybe we'll see. But until next week. All right, guys. Before we get out, my name is Paul Spencer. That is Steve right there. Right below me is Joe Sullivan, aka the John, and right over. Yeah, that way is Stacy with the 0-1 team, the New York Giants, the bottom of the barrel basements. So we'll see you next week. Hope your team wins next weekend. We'll see you next Thursday at 7 p.m.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
See ya.